City Council special meeting Friday, June 30th, 9 a.m. We're in the Public Works Building. Kenny, can you call the roll, please?
Mayor Miller,
Here.
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Mr. Welly,
Here.
Mr. Wolf,
Here.
and we'll make note that Ms. Linda Hamilton is not present
We
today.
had a call this morning with an emergency, family emergency, so. All right. Any public comment? Lisa, I don't know where our podium is.
All right, well, I'll come up here anyway. No, don't bother with me. Okay. For the city administrator job, I have 4 things that I want y'all to consider. Salary, living accommodations, vehicle, and gasoline. The living condition, the requirements, up until Mario Giesbert, who was the one just before Mr. Baylor, all city administrators lived inside the city limits. When a number of citizens asked if Mario Giesbert was going to live here, the council, Al Cathy said, well, it's not actually a requirement, but we've never had that issue because they've all lived here. So I personally think it is necessary that a city administrator live within this community, within the city limits. If you will recall, Andy Anderson had to get council permission to move his travel trailer across 386 to the little campsite over there. He had to come in front and ask permission and get permission to do that. So I think if you are going to hire somebody, you need to have them here in the city. If they don't want to live inside the city limits, then you need to put a limit on the territory that they can live in, which is the Tyndall base, Intracoastal, and east to Windmark, but no farther than that. As far as a vehicle, if you will recall, when the city authorized a vehicle and free gas for Mr. Baber, I published a comparison with the 10 cities I used to compare Mexico Beach with. Not a single one of them supplied a car to their city manager or city administrator and were surprised that I even asked. None, all but 2 or 3 of them did not provide gasoline. Those 2 or 3 gave a monthly allotment for the administrator to have to put gas in the car. So I am absolutely opposed to giving any city administrator a car at taxpayer expense and free gas at taxpayer expense, especially in a town this small. As for salary, our salary back in 2021 was way out of line with our physical square mileage and our population compared to the others. So I would like you to look at the salary and at least start it at the low end of your salary range. But the living in the city and the no vehicle are absolutely things that you should consider. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim Lindenwood, 105 St. Francis Street. So I just want to address a couple things that Ms. Logan mentioned. First one being salary. So if you've taken a look at what the common salary is for this type of position, at first you look at our population, it may seem high. Keep in mind that we have a non-resident population and we have a lot more homes, a lot more infrastructure than our resident population belies. So I would keep that in mind when you're looking for a qualified candidate to do this. And as always, I think we should get the best bang for buck. So I'm not saying, come in high, but I will tell you, if you look at other salaries, $100,000 sounds like a lot of money, but it may not be a lot of money for quality, for somebody quality, especially if you're looking for somebody with previous experience and has a graduate degree in this. And the other thing is, as far as living in the city, I would agree with Ms. Logan that that would be preferable. Keep in mind, though, that somebody who you're gonna hire may have a family, and we're not the most attractive place for someone with a young family. But I think it would be beneficial, and I agree with her, that person be a resident of our community. As far as the vehicle goes, I think you'll find that most cities do offer mileage for the city administrator or city manager, because they do use a vehicle to go to a lot of meetings, to go out through the city to inspect things. And so if you're not in favor of letting them use a vehicle, may not be going home with it, but they may use it during the work. So I hope that's not what you're thinking. If you think not giving them a vehicle, but having a work vehicle to use, so they're not using their own personal vehicle, would be a recommendation. And I just want to throw this in. I think you have already here a pretty good candidate in Michael. I don't know if he's thrown his hat in. I know he's fairly young and doesn't have some of the experience you're looking for. He's already here. My experience in working with Michael is he's very capable. I think he's very interested in the community. I think he would probably move here if he could. Maybe when the apartments actually open up, that'd be an option. But if you want to consider someone like Michael, maybe you do it on. I know that the city administrator serves at your pleasure, can be fired at any time. But maybe you would have a probationary period for somebody like this to consider, versus trying to find somebody for a small city. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
If I may, let me clarify. Thank you for this, Tim. I was not saying don't let a city administrator use a city car during the day for city purposes. I was talking about allowing that to go home. Don't send that fly back here.
You have permission to hit me with the gavel.
No, thanks, but no thanks. Okay. So, any other public comment? Okay, I'll take that as no. We'll close the public. All right, come to the table and talk about the city administrator search. And we'll start with Michael, let him give us a rundown.
Sure. We went ahead and put the job description in the packet, and then we did do some research yesterday after the budget workshop in terms of just a very rough, generalized timeline and some industry places that you can post the job, such as the Florida City and County Managers Association, Florida League of Cities, and the International City and County Managers Association. So without pass out these documents. With that, happy to do any additional research that the council would like, but I really have no recommendations for it.
Thank you. You're more than welcome.
Not really.
You're more than welcome.
we need to rush anything. I think we need to make sure that we have the right candidate. 60 days posting.
Keep in mind, the reason why we're foregoing the normal request for qualifications process is because this is an emergency.
Do y'all feel this is an emergency? I'll start with Mr. Wolf.
Well, I think it's important that we get a city administrator online. 60 days going into the budget probably is maybe a little bit too long, but I also think that we need to be cautious and get the right person also.
Okay. Mr. Weld?
I like the timeline. I don't think we'll accomplish anybody here with budget time because we're like in it. And I think we have somebody capable to guide us through the budget process. You know, when I pushed to try and get that position in last year's budget, this is the exact reason why. So I don't think we need to rush anything.
Okay. Mr. Smith?
Well, I can't be here one of them days, but the special meeting to finalize posting, I mean, is that, what is that?
So if you want to post the job description and the job description only as it is today, we can post tomorrow. If you want to go back and edit either the job description or put in additional materials about the city, you can task us right now with that, doing that research and that work. We can come back to you for your final approval in say a week from today. So we can move that up if you are ready to post immediately.
I just can't be here to sell it.
Hang on, please.
And plus, I don't think we need to rush. I'm hoping that we're gonna get the applicants is what, I went through this twice now. And you're gonna get some applicants, you're gonna get qualified, to me. It's, I believe we're gonna get some, but how are we gonna do that? You're gonna put every applicants in our boxes? How does that work? How do we want this to work?
You can,
No.
is that your question?
That's my question to you and Adrian and Mr. Wolf and Ms. Hopkins.
Okay. Hang on. How are we gonna get our applicants?
I mean, after we get them, are we gonna pick
We're
and
gonna-
choose?
We're gonna have it where we review them. Yeah. And here on September, looks like the 60-day post, let's see, review applicants if needed. Review applicants the 26th, the 20th, looks like.
Okay,
And we'll review
that's good.
Yeah, if I could provide
Hang on.
more
You're finished,
context.
sir? Okay.
Some more context to my recommended timeline. I don't think you need to necessarily meet on the 26th. We can just provide you those documents and you can look at it individually, and then we can set a special meeting exactly on that day when we're closer and you can decide on a short list.
That's what I was trying to get.
Yes. I mean, that's the way I took it. It wasn't that, there was a meeting.
Yeah, I think one of those days is like a Sunday, but
Yeah.
so we wouldn't meet, you know.
Yeah, and,
I mean, we can still get to our boxes on Sundays. So
Yeah, exactly.
we're good. Okay. All right, let's go to,
Do we have a copy of the last posting or the posting before that or any posting?
It's my understanding that the city posted the job description to the Florida League of Cities and the city website. Did you guys, I don't think you posted anything else.
Okay, so there's no additional posting, so why do we even have a post? Or can we just say that this job description is good to post?
I have some questions about it, but we can just.
Well, that's what I mean,
Okay.
but if we have something to start with, we can make the changes to it right here and probably get it posted sooner.
if we had something.
Okay. Job post, how do you feel?
Well, I did just have a thought, and I don't know about anybody else, and I'm not saying this is what I think we should do. We've never used a search firm before. Quality of applicants sometimes changes when you use a search firm. I don't know what that costs.
We used the, God, what are they called? Something riders,
Range riders, but
range riders.
that wasn't really a search firm. That was a.
No, but we did use them.
Yeah, it's pretty significant. It would be in excess of 10,000, I would think.
Is that cost?
Yeah.
So what's your experience, Michael, with these search areas? Florida League of Cities, I'm somewhat familiar
Sure.
with.
Yeah, I would at the bare minimum post all three of those. I think it's worthwhile looking at a search firm, but it's a pretty significant cost, especially for a community such as ourselves. I think we would manage.
It'll make the process even longer.
It will make the
but-
process significantly longer.
Okay, so we're looking at, we have a international city county managers association. And where's that out of? I have not looked these up.
All over, it moves around.
It is, I mean, it's not just in Florida,
No, I think it's international.
international.
Yeah.
I took that from the first
Yeah.
word, but you can never tell.
It's alright.
So-
My only statement on that one too would be that if you want a desired candidate from like Florida, which I'm not recommending, I wouldn't post to ICMA. If you want to consider everyone, I would post to ICMA.
And I would recommend all three of these,
I do too.
and the expense of $450 for a 60-day, and it's not, it's significant. It's worth, I think it's worth the cost.
If you do that one as well, I'd recommend the additional $37.50 so that
Yes.
they feature the job.
Yes, I agree.
That's additional, okay.
Yeah.
I would agree. Everybody agree with that? Agree with-
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's move to our job description. We'll start with Mr. Wolf again. Do you have any questions about the job description, any concerns?
I don't, no, I think it's pretty boilerplate type of job description, specific to maybe our needs.
You think it's not specific to our needs?
Well, I think it could be, I mean, if we look at it in depth, I mean, but if we're going out to look for a person, I think it's a good job description to start from.
Start.
Mr. Whalen, you got any concerns?
Nothing overly, but I do have a question regarding, it's an attorney question, and that is, I know what Minnesota is, I don't know Florida. Can we require them to live in town by law?
You know, something, I don't know that off the top of my head.
Because there you can't, but you can require a response time of so many minutes.
You know, I don't know. I really don't know. I've never had to deal with the hire of a city administrator. We've had
Yeah.
the same one over in St. Joe for years.
So we have, I looked it up just on Florida statutes, and you cannot require them to live.
You cannot.
You not can. I did that when Doug came, because, they were talking to him living out of town, and everybody here was going, hey, I thought they had to live here. Everybody else had blah, 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 but we cannot require that.
Can we require a certain distance?
I think we can.
Okay,
Yeah.
Radius,
A radius, you can.
that's similar to what.
Yeah, you can't require them to live in the city, but you can require them to live in a certain area within getting to the city.
Because I noticed this doesn't say anything about where you have to
It's
live.
kind of tough, isn't it? I
Mhm.
mean, there's not a lot of housing here that's, and what is pretty expensive, isn't it?
Well, I think we're doing better because we have the apartments here, so, and they're reasonably priced for this salary range. So we could say, So it's not like we would put them in a hardship because we don't have affordable for this salary range housing, because I believe these apartments have brought that to us.
I mean, that's obviously something, if we say that they have to live in here, we're gonna have to look at supplying them with costs and things like, we may have to look at some other things.
Moving expenses are, customary, I believe. Anything else?
No.
I think it's a good start. I'm not
Okay.
gonna say we through with it. I think we start with this, and then if we find somebody, we can fine tune it, and we can, can you live here? I believe we need to get the applicant first, and then we go from there. I think how far you can go, young children, might be an old man like me wants to just retire, he can find an apartment, but if you do have children, this is not the perfect place.
I think Clint makes a good point. I mean, the cost is higher here, so if we're gonna look at a monthly type of thing that we assist with that or something like that, I mean, it's all open. And we're demanding that they live here, or not demanding, asking.
Right. Just we can, let's just do one at a time. We have questions, that way everybody gets a chance to address that. So you're basically asking, should there be like a stipend for housing?
If we're making a decision that we want them to live here, yeah.
I would say, my personal would be, if we require them to live in the city, then we may want to consider that. What do you feel?
I don't think we can
I
request
thought
them
you
to
just,
live in the
yeah.
I mean, you know, if we request them to live in the city,
Oh.
not request, I mean, require, but request, and they agree, then that might be something we want to look at.
city. I got nothing.
You got that, okay? And Mr. Smith, how do you feel about that? If you're asking or requesting them to live in the city,
That would be the best thing, but sometimes that.
if you're giving them moving expenses and then say, well, we'll give you a site, compensate a little bit for their housing costs. That's what I think that's where Mr. Wood was going with that. I mean, this is something we can look at later.
That's what I'm just saying,
Something
yeah,
for
but
you to kick
this,
around.
that's right, this is a
Yeah.
start, and then,
I wouldn't pigeonhole myself, or if you get an applicant who's just
Oh, no.
absolutely perfect, but they just don't wanna live here.
No,
Yeah, you know what I mean?
We
It's-
can't require them, we do know that.
that's right.
It's something we could ask them.
But it's,
Incentivize.
right, and it's something that if we have to,
It's
we
in
could even say
negotiation.
that we're going to the higher range, paying the higher range versus paying a lower range on the salary side, and this is how we justify it.
Yeah, I would agree.
That sounds good, yeah. To me.
Incentivize it, I mean,
Yeah, so, yeah, okay, so, we're wanting to cross, you know, our job today is hopefully,
Sorry.
did that scare you?
I almost got it.
I almost had it.
I'm gonna touch you before I hit it.
Okay, so, sorry, back to our meeting. I think today we need to make some type of decision about this post. Now, I'm not sure that, the job description, because the post will include job description, is that correct?
You can leave it off, but I would highly recommend you attach it.
Okay,
You have a snippet of the job ad from, it's been saved in the G drive for, yeah, I was gonna say, it's a pretty good description of what we want for the ad, and then this is
This-
supplemental.
supplement. If we, thank you for bringing that up. If we have something like that, I think we need to review that before it goes, and then we can work on this, because I think there's some areas on here that really need to be worked on.
We could probably do that right now.
Okay. You can print it out for us.
I can't think of review. I mean, I don't think there'll be many changes to it. It's probably pretty generic.
I'm sorry?
So if I remember right, it's pretty generic.
Okay. Have you seen that, Michael? Okay.
You have or you haven't?
I don't know if it'll let me print over here.
Bet you're real close to the assistant administrators.
It won't let me print over here. I'm not on the network, so I can't print it, but I can get Julie to print it real quick, like. Okay, I'll do it right now.
Is there a paragraph, two paragraphs?
It's like a long one paragraph.
Yeah.
I believe it starts off with Mexico Beach, a city of population, blah, 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 blah. It's looking for a city admin, yeah.
Yeah. Probably anything you can post in any city for a city manager, I would think. And then this kind of nails what they're really.
So do you have anything that you want to say about this job description? Have you had a chance
I
to
don't,
review it?
oh, absolutely, I read it several times, but I don't, I think it's for any city.
I'm all ears, all ears.
Yeah.
I am too. I mean,
Okay, so here's my concerns. All right, first off, we have to take into consideration the contract that we use. And the contract and the job description need to coincide. And we have to make sure that, and I think that the contract looks good. Okay, what I have, you know, they work at this person works at the pleasure of the council, which means hires and fires. But where we fall different from our contract is in meeting our charter in this job reference, where it says performs any and all such duties which may consist, duties as may be consistent with the administrator's office or as directed by the city council. So, I just want to clarify on this one, when you say the administrator's office.
Are you looking at the job description?
Yes,
Which,
it's the very last bullet on
Very
the first
last
page.
line on the first page.
What is the administrator's office is what I think
Correct.
she's asking. First page.
Well, I just want to understand y'all's perception of this so that there's no misconceptions when we move forward.
Fine.
Well, Mr. Wolf.
Is there something in there you're looking for that I'm not seeing?
This matches our
Contract.
contract.
Right.
Okay, but I didn't want there to be any misconception as we move forward with this new administrator, that they fall under the administration oversight, or, excuse me, the chief administrative official's oversight.
Are you saying that he reports to you?
That he keeps me abreast of what's going on as in the past per the charter. And I don't want this to be controversial, I'm just,
Well, it has to be if that's what you're asking for.
well,
I'm sorry.
so you don't agree with the charter is not,
I don't agree with it the way that you read it, man. I'm sorry. I mean,
okay, so you don't agree with it, so you're saying that I have no powers over the administrator at all, no duties?
You have
to-
the same powers as anybody.
No duties
You have the same.
to do the chief administrative work that I have been elected to do, as well as says in the charter, the chief administrative duties per the charter.
I believe you have the same duties as anybody at this table.
So you say that I can do my council duties, but I cannot do my chief administrative duties. Is that
No,
correct?
I'm not saying that. I mean, if you go in and you talk to the city administrator and you ask him to do something, I don't see that as an issue. I mean, you're the mayor, I understand that. But if it's something that's gonna have a change to the city or to our procedures, you have to bring it to this table.
Yes, yes, and I've never said that that was anything that I would not do.
You have no powers other than the powers of each person at this table. The council people. I mean, that's,
So I have no powers per the charter.
of course you do, ma'am. I mean, you're the mayor. You have the same powers as anybody at this table.
So you're the mayor too, sir.
Okay?
If I'm not here, you're the mayor, right?
In a weak city, in a weak mayor city, I mean, you know, they rotate managers every.
Yeah, and we don't do that here.
Right.
So
We
we're
don't do
not a
that.
weak
That-
mayor
that's-
system.
So that's big.
According to the sunshine,
We are.
state of Florida, you are.
That's based on statistics that they gathered from the city. So-
We're a weak mayor system. I mean, I'm not gonna argue with that or try to.
Okay.
Mayor, you can go in and ask the city administrator to do things. I don't understand. Yeah, you can go in.
It's about accountability
You
and
can do that.
transparency, so sometimes there has not been transparency and accountability in our administration. So I just want to make it clear.
To what extent? I mean, are you saying? I mean, I don't know what
Okay.
you're talking about.
So, I just want to make sure, because it says on the second page here, this is what is in conflict with our charter. Supervision received and exercised, work is performed under the supervision of the city council. And I don't-
Where in the charter does it say work is performed under the direction of the mayor? Because ordinance
Because it says
596 also says the same.
Under the, ordinance, under the charter.
Yeah, give me the definition of chief administrative officer. That's what I asked for Tuesday, and I'll ask for it again today.
Okay, chief means what? Means leads,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Administrative means what?
Administrative,
Are you administrative?
we all are, yeah.
I thought you're legislative. We make rules and policies and make sure that they're followed. But the charter is the document for the city. We have to go by the city charter. When the city charter changes, we'll go by the changes in the city charter. I just don't want this to be an argumentative situation that it has become in the past 2 weeks. Excuse me, 2 months.
You don't need us, I'm leaving.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
You know what? I don't want to sit here and argue about this with you. I mean, you know that we've done it before. I'm sorry.
Point of order. I'm going by the city charter, and it's the laws, and I am a rule follower, and the council just has to make their decision on how they want to proceed with their positions as councils.
The way, I don't understand. You can go talk to the administrator, you can tell him what to do, but so can Mr. Wolf. I'm not telling him what to do, but he can ask him to do something. You still have all that. I don't understand how you think it's being taken
Trying to
away.
get something that,
I'm saying, the drama that has come to this table for the past 2 months.
I know, it's been horrible.
It has, to take away the charter as it's read.
No one's taking
And I'm not,
anything.
look, I'm not saying that I don't want power. It's not about power at all, sir. It is about moving our city to transparency, which we have not had, and accountability, which there has, and it's running it no differently than the predecessor.
I know, but I don't understand how it's gonna be more transparent.
Well,
Mayor, what you said about
Things keep
transparency.
changing. Things keep changing. The last contract I signed for the accountant changed from the previous contract. The way the contract was, the way it was presented changed. They never brought the position of Debbie, being the accountant, was never brought to this council.
Okay.
Okay? It was pushed to bring to the council to hire the new director. And the contract was changed to say that that would fall under the pleasure of the council, which I'm perfectly fine with. I signed that contract. But it was changed, and I asked you about it, did it need an ordinance? Because when it changed in 2005, an ordinance for the city administrator to fall under the council, then it was done by ordinance. And you said we didn't have to do it by ordinance, so I took your word on that.
I don't think we had to. We had a new contract, or hired a new.
And it was a contract, and usually the contracts, well, not, the charter says contracts fall under the mayor.
Okay. I don't know, we really don't have a quorum
it's-
here anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe it's probably not.
Now you can turn off we're done. I adjourned this meeting.
Second.